Welcome to the AI Factory podcast. We hear all the time that AI is going to revolutionize, well, everything. But when we say it's going to change science, what does that actually look like? Today, we're going to dig into how AI is becoming this incredible new partner for researchers, and really, what that means for the future of discovery itself.
So let's start with the why. Why is this even a conversation we need to have? And it really boils down to this question. Is scientific discovery getting harder? It kind of feels like it is, right? The more we learn, the more complex the problems get. We're tackling everything from the quantum realm to the human genome, and honestly, the sheer scale of the information is becoming a huge roadblock. Just to put that into perspective, take a look at this number, 38 million. That's the number of scientific papers on PubMed alone. Can you imagine being a researcher trying to find one key insight in that ocean of information? It's practically impossible. We've created this massive information bottleneck, and it's slowing science down.
And hey, it's not just published papers, it's the raw data. Think about this. By 2025, just storing human genome data is projected to take up 40 exabytes of storage. I mean, that's an almost incomprehensible amount of information. There's just no way a human scientist, or even a team of scientists, can process that on their own.
All right, so here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk more about this data deluge. Then, we'll introduce the new AI teammate that's stepping in to help. We'll see how it works in the lab, check out the real-world ripple effects, and then we'll look ahead to the automated future of science.
So yeah, this data deluge, it really means we've hit a point where we need a totally new way of doing things. The problems we're trying to solve today are just too big for human intelligence to tackle all by itself.
And that's exactly where this new AI teammate comes into the picture. Now, the key thing to remember here is that the goal isn't to replace scientists. Not at all. It's about augmenting them, giving them a collaborator that can work at a speed and scale that's just, well, it's beyond human.
I think this quote really nails it. AI is acting as a powerful new kind of microscope, telescope, and collaborator for researchers across nearly every discipline. It's a great way to think about it, right? It's a microscope to see the tiniest patterns, a telescope to see across huge datasets, and a collaborator to connect the dots in ways we might have missed.
So we can really break down AI's new job into three main roles. You've got the superpowered analyst, the creative problem solver, and the automated lab partner. Let's start with the analyst. Think about something like particle physics. You're literally trying to find a meaningful signal in a universe of noise. That's where AI is absolutely essential.
A perfect example is at CERN with the Atlas detector. It's smashing particles together, creating trillions of collisions. There's no way to save all that data. So AI is right there on the front lines, sifting through it all in real time and deciding instantly which tiny fraction of data is actually interesting enough to keep. It's literally finding a needle in a cosmic haystack.
Okay, so that's the analyst. Next up, AI as a creative problem solver. And for this, we have to talk about protein folding. For like 50 years, this was one of the grand challenges in biology. Figuring out how a protein folds into its 3D shape is crucial because that shape determines what it does. And for decades, scientists were stumped.
And then, AlphaFold from DeepMind came along. This quote from Professor John McGeehan just says it all. What took us months and years to do, AlphaFold was able to do in a weekend. Just let that sink in. A problem that could be a PhD student's entire career, years of work, solved by an AI in a weekend. The acceleration is just staggering.
And the impact wasn't just theoretical, it was immediate. AlphaFold predicted the structures for over 200 million proteins. That's basically every protein known to science. And the best part? They made it all public. They just dropped it into a database for anyone to use. That one move supercharged research around the world, helping with everything from drug development to fighting plastic pollution.
Which brings us to AI's third big role, the automated lab partner. Because we're now moving beyond just analyzing data. AI is starting to automate the entire scientific method, using what people are calling robot scientists. Now, when you hear robot scientist, don't picture some sci-fi android walking around on a lab coat. It's really an AI system that's hooked up to lab robotics. The AI is the brain. It comes up with hypotheses, and then it uses the robotic hardware to physically run the experiments and test its own ideas, completely on its own. It's basically a closed loop of discovery. The AI thinks up a hypothesis, then it designs an experiment to test it. The robotics run the experiment.
The AI analyzes the results, and then, based on what it learned, it refines its hypothesis and starts the whole cycle over again. It can do this 24/7, no coffee breaks needed.
And this isn't just a cool theory. These systems get real results. One of the first robot scientists was named Eve, and it was built for drug discovery. And get this, Eve discovered that triclosan, yep, a compound you can find in some toothpaste, can actually help fight drug-resistant malaria? Who would have thought?
Okay, so this is all really cool, but let's get to the so what. What's the ripple effect here? How do these incredible, but kind of abstract scientific breakthroughs actually affect our daily lives?
Well, the impacts are becoming very real. We're talking about faster drug development for terrible diseases like ALS. We're talking about discovering totally new materials. For example, AI recently helped discover a new material for batteries that uses 70% less lithium. And on a bigger scale, these tools are just giving us a much, much deeper understanding of life itself.
And you can see just how fast this is moving from the lab into the real world. Check out this chart. In 2015, the FDA approved only 6 medical devices that used AI. Fast forward to 2023, and that number jumped to 223. That's not just growth, that's exponential growth. It's happening right now.
So, this brings us to the future. Where is this all going? What's the end game for this automated future of science, and what are the big challenges we still have to figure out?
Well, the ambition is huge. There's something called the Nobel Turing Challenge, and the goal is to develop an AI system by the year 2050 that can make a scientific discovery worthy of a Nobel Prize, all by itself. It's a pretty bold vision for the future, to say the least.
But of course, it's not going to be a simple straight line to get there. To create an AI scientist that we can actually trust, we've got some pretty significant hurdles to overcome first.
Some of the big ones? Well, we need to teach these AIs how to handle weird, unexpected data, stuff they weren't trained on. We also need to build universal standards so all these different systems and labs can actually talk to each other. And maybe most important of all, we have to make sure these AIs are transparent and we can interpret their results. We need to be able to see how they reached a conclusion so we can trust it and avoid things like algorithmic bias.
But, at the end of the day, the goal here has never been about replacing human scientists. It's about augmenting our own creativity with the incredible scale and precision of a machine. This new partnership is really going to define the next frontier of science. And it just leaves you with this one really exciting question. What amazing discovery will this team unlock next?
If you want to dive a lot deeper into how these incredible systems are actually built and what it all means geopolitically, you should definitely check out the book, AI Factory: Architecting Global Supremacy. We've put a link for you right in the description.